Good morning. Welcome back. I guess I already said good morning. Anyways, this is where we start reading Flora and Ulysses. That's just about the book. In the Thickman kitchen, late on a summer afternoon, he says, Happy birthday to you. What's this, Donald? This is your birthday present. It is a Ulysses Super Suction Multi-Terrain 2000X. Happy birthday. It's a vacuum cleaner. It's a Ulysses 2000X. Yep. It is the crown jewel of vacuums. It features an extra long cord so that absolutely no mess, no dirt is ever out of your reach. It's indoor, outdoor. It goes everywhere. It does everything. Goody. You have to try it out. Turn it on. Oh, for heaven's sakes, Donald. Please. Whoa, hey now. Would you want a vacuum cleaner for your birthday? At one point, I got a vacuum cleaner for Christmas and I was excited, but that was because I didn't have a vacuum cleaner and we had carpet. Any other year? No thanks. What in the world, Donald? It's a multi-terrain. You should try it outside. Why do you ever need a vacuum outside? And that's how it all began, with the vacuum cleaner. Really. I'm not very good at figuring out how to get the picture in the camera. Chapter 1, A Natural-Born Cynic. There's one of our vocabulary words. Flora Belle Buckman was in her room at her desk. She was very busy. She was doing two things at once. She was ignoring her mother, and she was also reading a comic book entitled The Illuminated Adventures of the Amazing Incandesto. Flora, her mother shouted. What are you doing up there? I'm reading, Flora shouted back. Remember the contract, her mother shouted. Do not forget the contract. At the beginning of summer, in a moment of weakness, Flora had made the mistake of signing a contract that said she would work to turn her face away from the idiotic hijinks of comics and toward the bright light of true literature. Those were the exact words of the contract. They were her mother's words. Flora's mother was a writer. She was divorced, and she wrote romance novels. Talk about idiotic hijinks. Flora hated romance novels. In fact, she hated romance. I hate romance, said Flora out loud to herself. She liked the way the words sounded. She imagined them floating above her in a comic strip bubble. It was a comforting thing to have words hanging over her head, especially negative words about romance. Flora's mother had often accused Flora of being a natural-born cynic. Flora was suspected that this was true. She was a natural-born cynic who lived in defiance of contracts. So remember that a cynic is someone who is doing something for their own selfish reasons, but not to help others. They're doing it for their own good and to help themselves. In defiance of contracts just means that she doesn't want to listen to them. She's not obeying by them. Yep, thought Flora, that's me. She bent her head and went back to reading about the amazing Incandesto. She was interrupted a few minutes later by a very loud noise. It sounded as if a jet plane had landed in the Tickman's backyard. What the heck, said Flora. She got up from her desk and looked out the window and saw Miss Tickman running around the backyard with a shiny, oversized vacuum cleaner. It looked like she was vacuuming the yard. That can't be, thought Flora. Who vacuums their yard? Actually, it didn't look like Miss Tickman knew what she was doing. It was more like the vacuum cleaner was in charge, and the vacuum cleaner seemed to be out of its mind, or its engine, or something. So Flora lives next to the Tickmans, and the Tickmans is the one who got the vacuum cleaner for her birthday. "A few bolts shy of a load," said Flora out loud, and then she saw that Miss Tickman and the vacuum cleaner were headed directly for a squirrel. "Hey now," said Flora. She banged on the window. "Watch out," she shouted. "You're going to vacuum up that squirrel." She said the words, and then she had a strange moment of seeing them hanging over her head. "You're going to vacuum up that squirrel." There was no predicting what kind of sentence you might say, though, thought Flora, for instance, you would never think you would shout, "You're going to vacuum up that squirrel." That didn't make any difference, though. What word she said, Flora was too far away. The vacuum cleaner was too loud, and also, clearly, it was bent on destruction. This malfiance, our other vocab word, which, remember, means a wrongdoing, must be stopped. So what wrongdoing is she talking about? What's happening right now? One, she's vacuuming outside, and that's weird. But two, what's happening? What direction is the vacuum cleaner going? Straight for a squirrel. And what will happen if the vacuum cleaner vacuums up a squirrel? That's a wrongdoing, right? We don't want to vacuum up squirrels. Although I don't know that squirrels would wait long enough for you to vacuum up. Let me think. Flora said in a deep and superheroic voice, "This malfiance must be stopped," was what the unassuming janitor, Alfred T. Slipper, always said before he was transformed into the amazing Incandesto and became a towering crime-fighting pillar of light. Unfortunately, Alfred T. Slipper wasn't present. Where was Incandesto when you needed him? Not that Flora really believed in superheroes, but still. She stood at the window and watched as the squirrel was vacuumed up. "Poof, floomp." "Holy bagumba," said Flora. She, in fact, vacuumed up the squirrel. And that is chapter 1. So what I would like for you to do, I need a bookmark, but I will grab one. What I would like for you to do is to fill out this page. Flora loves what? And then Flora made a contract with her mom. She agreed to read true literature over the summer. Why do you think Flora's mom wanted her to read true literature? There's not a right or wrong answer to this. I just want to see what your thoughts are. So remember that Flora was reading a comic book, but her mom wants her to read true literature. One, what do you think that true literature is? Remember that Flora's mom is an author. But two, why do you think that she wants her to read true literature? The second thing you have to do is down on the bottom. We already did our vocabulary, but down on the bottom it says draw the beginning, the middle, and the end scenes from the Tickman kitchen. So remember, the Tickmans are the ones that got the vacuum cleaner. So what happened in their kitchen in the beginning, the middle, and the end of the chapter. There's many different things that you could do for this too. Again, not super right or wrong, because there's different things that you could say as the beginning, the middle, and the end. But I'm curious to see what you choose as the beginning, the middle, and the end. These are the only two things that you have to do for this chapter aside from your vocabulary. And I hope that you guys like the first chapter. And tomorrow we will look at chapter 2.